Good morning. My name is Hae-Sung Kim, advisor of Gangnam Labor Law Firm. Today, with the labor attorney Jung Bong-soo, we will discuss about the industrial accident compensation, the so-called civil damage compensation. And labor attorney Jung Bong-soo will explain. This is a quite complicated issue. So please explain in detail about this.
Okay. Hello. How are you today? This is Bong-soo Jung, Korean labor attorney. I'd like to introduce how to get to the some settlement for some the work-related deaths or some big accident cases. So when employee was killed by accident, then usually in the factory or construction site, employer is in charge of such a compensation. So in order to get some to be liberated or to be excluded from such a responsibility, they registered for industrial accident compensation insurance. So this is a government mandatory insurance. So employer, maybe government agency on behalf of the employer compensate certain amount of money based on this the government insurance. We call it industrial accident compensation insurance. So when employee was killed by accident, then how much is the granted or is paid is how we calculate is we call survivor's pension. This is based on employee's daily wage multiplied by 1,300 days. That is a lump sum payment. Also, funeral service expenses also is added. That is based on daily wage multiplied by the 120 days. That is total amount is the compensation by the industrial accident compensation insurance. So this amount is huge, but still some cases like for civil compensation, so you have to compare with this compensation with the civil the liability, like the compensation for civil damage, like how we calculate civil the damage calculation is based on based on their age. So when they join the company, how long they'll work up to retirement age. Also they could calculate like from they lose some damage that they cannot earn during the because they died this time. So for example, there are 20 years left to up to the retirement age, then that is a loss they can have. Also during that period they cannot get any some severance pay. So we calculate based on damage they could not earn until retirement age, also severance pay. Also third one is we consider some the spiritual damage compensation. We call like consolation compensation. So up to that is amount is calculated like 100 million Korean won. This is a spiritual damage compensation. So damage for their wage up to the retirement age, also damage they could not get for severance pay up to retirement age, plus spiritual the damage compensation. So three parties combined, then they deducted employees' fault or employees' mistake rate, like maybe they neglect to protect themselves, that it may be 20%, then total amount deducted by 20%. That is civil compensation amount. Based on civil compensation amount, also we consider some the industrial accident compensation, we like survivor's pension and funeral expenses subsidy. So we compare this amount, then usually civil compensation is higher than this government insurance compensation. So then the difference is what employee should pay to the employee. So as a labor attorney, we try to explain. So when we calculate the based on this insurance benefit, so this amount is this fixed amount, so it cannot be changed. But civil damage compensation is changed based on their age or their own fault rate. Yeah, then we calculate usually the. So when you get to some settlement with the survivor's family, then how we suggest is we show them how much they receive from some industrial accident compensation insurance, the government agency, then this amount, then civil claim insurance maybe, then how much, then if civil damage compensation is much higher, then the company will compensate the amount. Also the remaining amount will be subsidized or granted by some government agency. Then total amount is employers some suggestion for this settlement. That is how we get the settlement.
I see, I see. It's very detailed explanation, but maybe
Yeah,
it's easier
yeah,
to
yeah.
understand.
I explained that.
On the screen.
So
Thank you.
so we put into their age, like date of birth, then so also employment date, then the retirement date, maybe 30 years later. Yeah. Also date of death. Then from date of death to the retirement age, that is the loss they could not earn for salary or severance pay. So we call lost monthly wage, also lost severance pay. So we deducted some mistakes by employer. Then this is some deduction they should deduct from the total compensation. Also in this one, we also include emotional damage compensation. This is we calculated as like 100 million Korean won, but it's deducted from the employee's some mistake rate. Then total amount is civil damage compensation. Then deducted. Deducted from the total amount industrial accident compensation insurance. The compensation. Then we can know how much employer is in charge. So through this settlement agreement with the survivor's family, that is how we suggest. So for example, 500 million won. This is a total amount for civil compensation. Then they can get some subsidy from this insurance. Is about 200 million Korean won. Then difference is 300 million Korean won. Then this amount company promised to pay. Then they make some settlement agreement. If the survivor's family accept this settlement, then like survivors the family's perspective, they supposed to receive 500 million won, but in company's perspective, there'll be some subsidy from this insurance agency, about 200 million won. Then their own burden is only 300 million Korean won. So then they reduce their amount. Then this is how labor attorney suggests for this content for this settlement agreement. Yeah.
I see. This is somewhat a little bit complicated issue, so I think it's better that survivors may consult to the expert like Gangnam Labor Law Firm to get the correct amount of compensation. Thank you very much for your comment.
Okay, thank you for watching. Bye bye.